This pandemic, there's been a lot of discussion and debate about whether virtual learning was hurting our children's education. So 3 News asked administrators from our largest district and one of the smallest districts about what their statistics show. We wanted to see what the failure rate was last year compared with this year when everyone is back in the classroom. And as Michael Gibson reports, failure rates from the CCISD and Premont ISD show that in-person learning has proved significantly better than remote.
School officials now have the stats in hand to show what the difference is when it comes to the failure rates of their students who attended classes virtually last year versus their in-classroom environment this year. Premont Superintendent Steve Van Matry says that his district's latest stats show that in-classroom teaching is far better for students than learning virtually from home.
The data clearly shows, particularly with K-12 kids, that staying at home, there's an academic price, there's a social-emotional price that has to be paid that negatively impacts the child.
Here are the statistics that the superintendent provided to us, which show that the early college high school students in Premont had a 63% failure rate last fall during 100% remote instruction. That failure rate dropped to around 25% this fall. For the rest of the students, the district last year saw a failure rate of 30% versus just 13% right now.
The remote learning didn't work with our kids, and quite frankly, the instructors were not very skilled in it as well either.
CCISD's student failure rate from last year to this year didn't show as big of a gap as in Premont. Kimberly James is the Deputy Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction for CCISD and says the district knew it had real challenges coming into this year.
We knew coming back that our students had noticeable learning gaps coming in from, this past year.
The Deputy Superintendent provided 3 News these statistics. At CCISD's 2 early college campuses, the total failure rate last year was around 11.5%. This year, it dropped down to 8.5%. Now, when you compare the failure rate for the rest of the district over the second 6 weeks of the first semester, last year's failure rate was 27.8%. This year, it's now 18.9%.
We know that in-person learning is the key to that. And so right now, I know that you probably, everyone's concerned about Omicron and how is that going to erode any progress.
Both this deputy superintendent and Superintendent Van Matry over in Premont are hoping that their districts never have to go back to virtual learning. That's because their numbers show that students are much better off in the classroom when it comes to getting good grades. Michael Gibson, 3 News.